So, now about the supply of weapons.
По поводу поставок оружия.
The supply of weapons to the conflict zone is always
Это
bad.
всегда плохо.
Moreover, if this is due to the fact that those who supply, they not only supply weapons, but control these
Те, кто
weapons.
поставляют, они не только поставляют оружие, а управляют этим оружием.
And this is a very serious and very dangerous step. You and I know, and the Federal Republic does not deny it, as I do not know how it got into the press. When the Bundeswehr generals discuss where and how they should strike at the Crimean Bridge, or at some other objects on the territory of Russia.
Удары по Крымскому мосту или по каким-то другим объектам на территории России.
Including in the territory that belongs to Russia, no one doubts.
В принадлежности которой к России никто не сомневается.
When the first German tanks of German production appeared on Ukrainian soil, it already caused such a moral and ethical shock in Russia, because the attitude towards the Federal Republic in Russian society has always been very good. But now, when they say that there will still be some missiles that will strike targets on the territory of Russia, this, of course, completely destroys Russian-German relations. But we understand that, as one of the famous German politicians said, after the Second World War, the Federal Republic of Germany was never in the full sense of the word a sovereign state.
Федеративная Республика Германия никогда не была в полном смысле этого слова суверенным государством.
We have been in contact with our Scholz. We have met with him many times. I don't want to assess the quality of the federal government's work right now, but these assessments are given by the German people, the German voter. Elections to the European Parliament are coming soon. Let's see what happens there. As far as I know, I am, of course, not indifferent to Germany. I have a lot of friends there, whom I try not to touch, so as not to subject them to some kind of obstruction there inside the country. I try not to maintain relations with them, but I've just known these people for many years. I know that they are reliable friends, and I have a lot of them in Germany. So, I know the balance of forces in the political arena, as far as I understand, if I'm not mistaken. The CDU-CSU is now about 30%. About 16% have become Democrats. 15 are already in alternatives for Germany, and all the others are already falling lower. But this is the voters' answer. This is the mood of the Germans, the mood of the German people. I understand the dependence of the Federal Republic in the field of defense, in the field of security in general. I understand the dependence in the field of politics, information policy, because where you don't poke into some major publication. I do not know where you work, but the ultimate beneficiary is overseas, some American foundation. Thank God, I applaud these American foundations, and those who conduct this PO, well done. Well done that they are so firmly holding the information clearing of Europe, from the point of view of their interesting, and they also try not to show themselves their ears. All this is understandable, but the impact is enormous, and it is very difficult to resist it. I see. But some elementary things. About these elementary things. It is even strange that no one in today's German leadership protects German interests. Well, of course, Germany does not have full sovereignty. But the Germans, that is, we need to think about their interests at least a little. Look, the unfortunate ones blew up these pipelines along the bottom of the Baltic Sea. Well, someone is not outraged, as if that's the way it should be. As if that's the way it should be. Look, we supply, nevertheless, we continue to supply gas to Europe through the territory of Ukraine. We supply. There were two pipeline systems. One of them was closed by the Ukrainian side. You see, I screwed it up, just closed it, and that's it. Although there are no grounds for any, I left only one pipeline system. All right, but gas goes to Europe through it, and European consumers receive this gas. It goes through Turkey on the Turkish stream. Our gas also goes to Europe via the Turkish stream. European consumers are getting it. Well, all right, they blew up one pipe of the Nord Stream. But one pipe of the Nord Stream is alive, thank God. Why does Germany not want to receive our gas through this pipe? Who can explain this to me? What is the logic? It is possible to receive through the territory of Ukraine. It is possible to receive through Turkey, but it is impossible to receive through the Baltic Sea. What kind of nonsense is this? There is no formal logic to this. I don't even understand it. But they would say, in general, Europe should not receive gas. Okay, well, we'll get over it. Gazprom will survive this. But you don't need it. Do you need to buy liquefied natural gas in Tridoroga across the ocean, which is transported? Well, and your environmentalists, don't they know how to get liquified natural gas using hydraulic fracturing? Ask those residents in the United States where this gas is produced. There is sometimes a slurry flowing from the taps instead of water. Your environmentalists who are in power in the government, they don't know anything about this, but they probably do. So, Poland took its Yamal Europe branch, took it closed. Gas went to Germany via Poland. We didn't close it, we closed the sleepers. The result? The result of the impact on the German economy of these termination of our ties in the energy sector is known to you better than to me. He is a sad result. Many large-scale industrial enterprises are looking for a place to land, but not on German territory. Both in the USA are opening, and in Asia are opening, but the economic conditions are such that they become uncompetitive. And this, by the way, can have serious consequences for the economy of Europe as a whole, because the German economy is well known to no offense by any other Europeans, but it is the locomotive of the European economy. She will sneeze and cough, everyone else will get sick right away. But the French economy, which is now also teetering on the brink of recession, is well known to everyone. And if the German one goes lower, the whole of Europe will shake. So now, you know, I'm not calling for the violation of any Euro-Atlantic ties. I don't want you or not you to start now. Someone will hear what I'm saying, say, here he calls for a split of the eve of Atlantic solidarity. Well, no, listen, you have, I think, a mistaken policy there, just a gross mistake at every step. I think that for the United States itself, what is happening now is a big mistake, such a capital one. Because of the desire to maintain leadership, and by such means as they do, they damage themselves. But for Europe, it's even worse. Yes, you could say, we support you here, here and here, but this is ours. Look, if we undermine our economy, it will be bad for everyone. In no case should this be done. We are against it, it's taboo, you don't attempt it. But today's federal government doesn't do that either. To be honest, sometimes I even get lost. Where is the logic of this behavior? But well, they were going to undermine the Russian economy and believed that this would happen within 3, 4, or 6 months. But they still see that this is not happening. Last year, our economy grew by 3 or 4%. This year, in the first quarter of this year, the growth of the Russian economy amounted to 5 4/10%. So, more than that, the World Bank has recalculated. We set a goal according to international financial and economic structures. We were in 5th place in terms of purchasing power parity, in the world in 5th place. And we set a goal to reach the 4th place. Well, I think that you are following what and how colleagues in international financial institutions think. The World Bank recently, quite recently, last week, in my opinion, calculated our GDP and calculated it, and came to the conclusion that we are overtaking Japan. According to the World Bank, Russia today is the 4th economy in the world in terms of purchasing power parity. In other words, this goal has been achieved. This is not important, of course. It is not an end in itself. It is important to keep the pace moving forward. But we are still able to do this because in the first quarter, growth, as I have already said, amounted to 5.4% of GDP. But why am I saying this? Not to brag, but so that those who are trying to hinder us, harm us, and slow down our development would have to understand that what they are doing is more harmful to themselves than to us. Well, having understood this, we must draw some conclusions and somehow adjust our behavior for ourselves and our loved ones. No, but it's not happening. I don't want to offend anyone, but the level of professional training of those people who make decisions, including in the Federal Republic, in my opinion, leaves much to be desired.
Dankeschön, господин Романович.
Ich bedanke mich.